actually, pretty excited about it and are quite happy with the acknowledgement and the fact they're going to be included. There are 3 entrances to that traffic circle. Each entrance will have a sign and its own wind sculpture. And in the center will be a larger wind sculpture, which will be about 16, 17 feet high. So at each entrance, there will be a sign designating the town with its symbol. Another entrance will be the Bearspaw First Nations symbol, and then the third one will be Rotary. At the side, hopefully, and I'm probably going to have to spend some time with your maintenance and services, park services, because we want to put a sign at the side, right on the next to the sidewalk, on the park side, explaining what they are. In other words, what the legacy project is, what all of the wind sculptures designate and what they represent, so that the public knows exactly what is there and why. We are using Foothills signs for all of the signage in town. And they have given us a quote and are willing to put that together for us. So we will need some assistance with installation, that's it. You can see you have I think the budget there. The total budget for the sculptures themselves comes out to $27,150 US, which is about $37,000. And the signage is probably another $450 to $500. The shipping is $5,500. And the $27,150 includes the commercial warranty, design work, as well as the construction of all the wind sculptures.
Thanks, Ron. So for council discussion, I think first off, we did talk about this a couple weeks ago. Does anybody have any concerns with allowing Rotary to use the downtown roundabout for this project? Everybody's on board? Okay. And go ahead.
As we've seen.
Buzzer, please, sir.
So if you drive past that roundabout today, you're going to see major ruts through the whole thing, going all directions, from vehicles transferring, going up and through that. So I think if Rotary's going to put something in the middle of there, we're going to have to figure out how we're going to stop vehicles from driving across that thing.
This is the downtown roundabout, not 12th Avenue.
I'm thinking 12th Avenue.
I know you still want to put rocks and spike belts and everything in the 12th Avenue one.
I was just really frustrated when I went past the 12th Avenue one again today. But yeah, downtown's good.
It's interesting you bring that up, because we actually came to town first to go after the 12th Avenue, but it was nixed, and for good reason. It's large, it's difficult, to actually design against. And Craig said, "Why don't we just do the downtown first, and then think about that one later?" And he's right. I think the downtown one is the button to do.
Well, in the downtown one, because we've got, with Bearspaw First Nation involved, that George Lane Park is a pretty significant area for those people as well, right? So it ties that whole piece in and brings an art installation right into downtown. The 12th Avenue roundabout is a whole different beast, which I'm with Councillor Kinghorn right now, that we put a whole bunch of the rock, like we have in Wallaceville, put a whole bunch of that rock around there and stop those trucks from going over the top. Do something like that. That's another discussion. So the downtown roundabout, so we're good with using that. As far as the landscaping, that's fairly easy to have our staff. Riley, can you confirm there is electrical in that roundabout currently, correct? When we did that downtown? There was to be water and electrical.
I have to check on that. It's been a long time.
Okay.
think I think you sent me the information about what infrastructure's
I did
there.
send you drawings, yeah.
Yeah, and I believe that both are there.
Yeah, because that was a pretty big deal when we did that roundabout, that we made it so that one day we could put some type of water feature, or at the very least a lighted feature, so this all works perfect. So for the next COW meeting, can administration bring back, thoughts on us being involved, helping out with the installation and the landscaping, confirmation of the electrical utility there, and then regarding the signage, if you can get that signage to our guys so that we can make sure that that's all going to line up with whatever traffic-wise and stuff, Ron.
Yeah, we'll take care of the cost of the signage. We just need assistance with sizing and
Right.
lettering and, what you want and don't want, what looks good, et cetera. For those signs, we'll do whatever you want. It's just a case of deciding.
Exactly, okay.
So, I think we can commit to the fact we can support the installation aspect of things. What we do need is what their typical installation spec actually looks like, how deep, what kind of concrete, and then we can reconfirm that with the wind loading that were required based upon the height that we want these structures as well. And then we can make sure that we build them so they don't bend
So-
over. But I think the installation, we can certainly commit to that, as well as the landscaping piece, and we can get confirmation on the lighting.
Yeah, that would be no problem. They've said they will send all the detail that's required, including any contacts you require to discuss it.
Okay. Perfect. Any other questions from council for Ron while he's here? I think it's a great idea. Looks awesome.
So if, the only area we might require is some assistance with shipping, if that's possible. If not, then it's not a big issue, but
We can bring that to, we got budget next week discussion.
just looking at our budget, and that does, the cost of production is going to use up what our board has voted on, but
So through Mayor Snodgrass to Dr. Gorche, timeline on delivery, do you have an expected time?
within the next 6 months.
And are you expecting this to be installed in 2025 or 2026?
7,
2027.
right before our 100th
So we've got
year.
time on
They
our
will
hands.
package it so that there's no chance of this being, affected during that time.
So storage of, if you order them and storage of them,
Yeah, we can talk about storage. I think that would be a good idea to discuss that. I don't know how it's packaged or what size it's going to be, but
okay.
we can certainly, if you don't mind, looking at maybe where we can store it, where we know it's not going to be damaged.
You can find space.
Exactly.
Any other questions? We're good?
Now then, just in closing, we are looking for any ideas with regards to our legacy projects up until that time. Our first two were a blood drive and tools for the gardens for Salvation Army for the new gardens. But we're also looking at maybe assisting the hospice. And so that, any projects that you feel that you're thinking might be of advantages have to be new projects over the next 4 years. Please send them to me. Thank you.
Working on a skate park right now. So. Thanks, Ron. Appreciate it. We'll keep going on it. Okay, I'll ask for a motion from Councillor Smith that council recess the committee of the whole meeting October 28th at 1:15 p.m. and move into a closed meeting. And we will not be very long, so. Let me know when you're back on, Kent. Okay. So back in the committee of the whole meeting, where last piece is just the open-ended question and answer, staff to Chris, administration. Anything? Councillor Smith?
I'm just curious if we've had an update on the building over for boys and girls, or BGC. Has there been any movement there?
I'll direct that to Director McCarricker. Any update on the BGC building?
None at this time. We should be in the building by end of the week with air tests happening. I think remediation was supposed to be this week with air test in shortly after. And then hopefully we're in by end of week. And then we'll start evaluating the water concerns and going from there.
Councillor Jones?
Thanks, Mayor Snodgrass. Do we have any updates on the corridor study?
Could you repeat that again? I couldn't hear
The corridor study?
Again, I'll direct that to Director McCarricker.
Well, you're testing my memory. So we've done a first round of engagement. We do have a draft engagement report internally that we are reviewing and hoping to bring to council shortly.
Councillor Kinghorn?
I brought it up earlier. Can we do anything about that 12th Avenue roundabout? Either we take the gravel out and leave the concrete that's poured there up about 8 inches and pick up the pieces in the morning, or we put some rocks around there. I mean, it's got to be costing us. Every time we got to go out and rake it and do all that, and I don't think it's big money, but it just looks like crap. I can't believe we can't stop that from happening. I don't think so.
Well, and it's not even being raked or anything. No. Right?
Well, I think on occasion we've been going in there after the
occasion,
big
but those
ruts are
tire
in
tracks
there
have
and the
been there
gravel.
for
So the ruts are created, the gravel
month or
comes
two
out
now.
onto 12th, onto the roundabout itself. Just come back with some ideas, maybe.
We can certainly come back with some ideas.
Well, do you have any rock left from Wallaceville?
None. No.
There's a bunch still out there, not
Noticed
in
that.
Wallaceville, but out at the county site there. I drove by there the other day and they got a mountain of them there again. What's that?
You want to put them on the traffic circle itself? Like
Yeah.
Just where the gravel is up on top, just inside where the suitcase or where the sidewalk is, just put 1 or 2 there between each gap. And maybe that'll discourage them from going through there. It's just joyriders.
We certainly are continuing to get complaints on how that traffic circle operates. We've talked about this issue before as well. People go into there in a state of confusion.
But that's got nothing to do with
No.
what we're talking about.
No, but we can certainly secure some rocks or the other option is to put up typical roundabout or traffic circle signage that will probably just get hit anyways.
That's not,
No.
Chris,
but the-
that's not what this is. We have people, I don't care what signage you put on it, that's not why they're going through the middle
No.
of it. They're going through the middle of it on purpose.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, I don't know what to do now into this.
We can
That's not what's happening.
we can certainly try some rocks and see what that does.
No, we have to put something in there to prevent.
Yeah.
When the roundabout went in, who's
John Moore that actually designed that, Councillor Moore. actually designed that sort of, I guess, wagon wheel. It looks like a wagon wheel from, if you're looking straight down, nobody can see it from straight down, but it does look like a wagon wheel from above. And there was all kinds of discussions over the years since 2010 about what to do with it, and it seems like most councils have felt that just leaving it as is was the best way to do it, because, I don't know. I personally, I always wanted to try and theme it, so create some sort of, at Christmas time, put a Christmas tree in the middle of it. And car show and shine weekend, put a car out there. Chuck wagon, put a weekend, put a chuck wagon in the middle of it, just to promote what's going on in the event. And I know there were some council people and didn't like that idea, but that was one thing I was always a favorite of.
Okay, thank you.
Put a balloon in the middle of it?
Heck yeah, I'll put mine. Let somebody try to run into it with their truck.
Yeah, let's look at putting some rock or something in there just to stop these guys that are purposely going over top of the middle of it. Councillor Jones, is that who's next?
Sure,
Okay,
thanks.
Jenny, Jamie, and Brenda.
I was just wondering if we can get how's the new large ice surface working out?
What I've heard is that the ice is chilling faster. I've asked from some input from some of the hockey teams or from the Hockey Association to give us some feedback on what they think of what the ice quality is like. But it is cooling much faster, and it's was much easier to install than in past years with all the missing lines that we had.
Councillor Burton.
Thanks, Greg. Just wondering if we can get an update on the windmill that fell down.
It's fallen down. It's been removed from site. The site has been cleared. We've got a joint health and safety investigation that we have to follow through with the province as well to do a complete investigation. And at this point in time, there's nothing that can be done to replace it unless council budgets for a new windmill of some kind.
I think I'd like for us to do something there, and I think just being in a resident that's been here for over 50 years, I think it's something that we should look at trying to redo or recoup or something, put it up in part of our art installation, because I believe that's where Windmill Theatre probably got their name from, is I'm guessing it was from that. We could check with them, but I think that it's definitely part of their logo. So, I don't know. I think it's
Do we know
been...
where it came from?
The windmill?
Yeah.
I don't know. Craig's dad would probably, anybody in that
Yeah,
group.
that was part of what they did in late 60s, I guess. Mid to late 60s when they did phase one of the downtown revitalization back then, and that was just an art thing that I think it was supposed to whistle and howl and stuff when the wind blew through it and stuff. But yeah, it's been there since then, so it's not surprising that it's... I have a question as to, do we not look at those things to make sure they're solid and nobody noticed that the post was rotting off? That's what happened.
I can't answer that.
Okay. But that's what your investigation will determine?
That's
Okay.
exactly right.
Okay, thank you. But yeah, I think it's important that once we get that sorted out, that we look at putting something similar back in there. I don't know. Or we change it. Because remember the big old barbecue that used to be back in there too, right?
Yeah,
that got removed, so things change, but it's wide open if we want to do something back in there again. Councillor Walsh?
Thank you. Further to Councillor Barton's suggestion, what if one of the lovely wind art items that Rotary is investing in, what if we got our own and put it in there where the windmill was? Just a thought. That's not really what I wanted to ask, though. Back to the traffic circle. Do we have any traffic cameras in that area? And if not, why not? It's a constant issue in, like, people not using it effectively. The volume of traffic there is great. It's reasonable to have a traffic camera, and then the next time somebody goes over the middle, we could, you know, enforce or give them a ticket or something.
Yeah, we do not have a traffic camera in that area that records anything.
Pardon me?
We don't have any traffic camera in that area. That's certainly something we can bring back to council if that's something we want to kind of install and come back with a budgetary price in the future,
I believe that it would serve more than one purpose.
potentially.
Thank you.
I do need to caution, there are some communities right now that are expanding their traffic camera approach across Western Canada, and they're running into some unforeseen legalities, I guess, from a privacy perspective, that we have to be very keyed up and have strong policy on that perspective.
Good to know that in advance.
Councillor Jones?
Thanks, Mayor Snodgrass. I guess I'm different about the traffic cameras. I think that's a lot of money to put forward for a couple people going over the center. I do see a lot of issues with the traffic circle and people going around them for sure. And maybe once in a while, like getting the peace officers or somebody out there just to be seen would be a better solution and less expensive way of doing it than traffic cameras.
We certainly haven't seen a lot of illegality besides driving across. We have not had a couch dropped off since 2020, so we haven't seen any litter or that type of thing take place, but they still consider it a shortcut.
It's not being used as a shortcut. It's not being used as a shortcut. They're doing it on purpose to wreck it. Period. It's not they don't know how to use the roundabout. They're doing it on purpose. No further questions. Meeting adjourned 1:40.